That's one fine-looking barbecue pit. Why doesn't mine look like that?
Invincible has an animation problem. I'm pretty sure most of you who are at least a little familiar with Invincible have been seeing this take constantly popping up everywhere it's discussed. Whether it be on YouTube, Reddit, or Twitter, it seems like everyone is complaining about how Invincible looks. But is it true? Does this show really have an animation problem, or is it perhaps just audiences being unrealistic in what to expect? Hey guys, it's the Pink King here, and that's exactly what I intend to answer today. For those of you who don't know, Invincible is a ongoing animated superhero series based off a comic run of the same name by Robert Kirkman. And a few days ago, the first 3 episodes of Season 3 have been released, with many more on the way. And so far, the episodes have genuinely been fantastic. The writing is slow to begin with, as each season has a lull period in its start, like Season 1, Season 2, and now Season 3, all start off very slow, but then they pick up as they go along, with it really getting strong by the second episode, with strong writing, stories, and characters. All of these elements absolutely shine in the series, and it manages to tackle many issues, whether it be minor to extreme problems, and makes them all work really well together despite the severity of each being different. Whether it be the complexity of human life to even the simple things like relationships, this show really knows how to handle its topics. But despite all the good aspects of the show, there's been one thing that I can't help but see, and that's people complaining about the animation with the show. Whether it be choppy frame rates, unimpressive lighting, and rigid movements, there's a lot going on here that has made people turn on this series in regards to how it looks. But where did this all start? Well, from what I've seen, the earliest point I can pin down as to where this started was due to the promotion of Season 2. Yeah, you heard me right. The promotion. Specifically, 2 animated teasers from the series where the characters would be in a burger mart having a conversation about when the show would be coming back. And these shorts, despite being incredibly minor, were kind of a shock to most people, as these shorts had really good animation. Whether it be the lighting, the movements, and how detailed everything was, these short promo videos were really well made snippets. But perhaps they might have been a little too well done, as after these promo videos were released, a large portion of the fan base began to compare it to the actual series, and there were a lot of differences, you could say the least, from the series. As the TV show had more choppy and basic in its lighting, rarely straying away from its usual style, but with the promos, they were much more expressive and interesting. And so you can see why people kinda started to freak out. We were being promised something fantastic, but ultimately got something that didn't match those same standards. With some people calling it just straight up false advertising. Hell, there were even petitions I noticed to get the promo video animators to take over the series, with the tagline being, "Bring back the corn animators." Yeah, as for those of you who aren't aware, these shorts may or may not have been animated by corn artists. For legal reasons, I'm going to say corn because YouTube will strike me down. And honestly, it explains a lot, as those artists are far better than they have any real right to be. But what do I think of this situation? What are my hot takes on this matter? Well, if I'm being entirely honest, I get it. I can see why people would be mad at how the series hasn't evolved to improve in a big way, as with this, it's like being promised Avatar level CGI in a movie only to get Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I can understand why there is outrage, but I also feel like the expectations of people are unrealistic, to say the least, and even a little unfair. Because contrast to popular belief, the animation actually has been improving since season 1, with each of the characters' designs, their movements, their colours, and even some of the lighting being basically perfected, where season 1 was still figuring out how it exactly wanted to look. So to say there's been no improvement at all, that's just a big lie. And also, we have to remember, it's a TV show. Where these promo videos are only a few minutes at most, they can afford to have this level of quality. Same can't be said, however, for its TV show version, as a series needs to be very careful and calculated with how it's animated, as to not overwork its artists and to meet budgets. Then you factor in the show needs to be airing at a minimum of a year apart from one another, then you have a case where it's not only fine, but kind of necessary to cut certain corners in order to meet intended dates. So, for the most part, Amazon were doing everything pretty standard and nothing wrong, but they did mess up in a big way here. And it's probably the thing that started this entire mess, and it's the way they promoted the series, with these promo shorts, as Amazon made a mistake by calling these promo videos teasers, rather than just announcements. As that title of teasers leads people to believe this is how the series will look moving forward, and thus raises the audience's expectations to a point where it simply won't be able to match. It's quite literally shooting yourself in the foot as you present something and advertise the series to look a certain way, only to double back and not go that far ahead into making it look like that. I know it sounds silly, but it's a very silly issue to begin with, so we can't really be surprised about it. So, we're left where we started. Is it true Invincible has an animation problem? I'm actually going to say yes and no. No, in terms of being the limitations, budgets, and timeframes have on a big series such as this, as that's something completely understandable for artists and just to get your product out there. Like, that's when I say it doesn't have a problem. But in the same breath, yes, also, with the misleading advertising, with the fact that the show needs to keep improving, as there are still some things like certain frame rates being, well, too small, and certain motion that needs to be smoothened out in order to make sure the series doesn't look static. There's definitely a lot that could be improved here, so yes, there is also a slight problem with animation. And in terms of us as the audience, I feel like we need to accept the fact that animation is very hard. It's not something simple or straightforward, as it requires you to literally create everything from scratch and have it work flawlessly. And so we need to understand that certain TV shows will be limited in comparison to other animated projects out there. But at least we can say that Invincible still manages to nail the essential scenes, like the fight scenes, and looks better than most other animated shows released today. I know there was a new Spider-Man show released a few weeks ago, and although apparently that's supposed to be really good, the animation is less than impressive, I'll say that. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my thoughts on the matter, or do you perhaps think differently to what I have to say? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read all of your guys' comments, and while you're at it, be sure to like the video and subscribe, as doing so not only helps me make these videos for you guys a lot faster, but also tells me that you guys want more videos just like this. So, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. And with that, peeps, it's been the Pig King here, and I will see you all next time.